interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Super Desperation Radio! Go!
That was pretty cool. I didn't have to say so myself.
I was hoping that the intro to Samurai Shodown 2 would pop up and then it just cuts off, but that was nice. That was good.
Like right before he slices the trees.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do with that sword, man?
So the future is now.
The future is now again.
And again.
And again, and technically also again.
And we're back. We're back to the 90s. It's 1993 again. Once. So
that's good. That
SNK.
means
it's not SNK anymore, although that is their official name. It's just SNK.
It's just SNK. Which is
They
actually
brought back the logo. They brought back the tagline, and that feels weird, but in a good way.
I think it feels good, and I like it because I can go back to saying the future's now without getting sued, It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing.
I like it.
All right, so I heard a lot about this was the result of different lawsuits or our debts, basically.
finally being paid off.
Right.
Debts being paid off, yeah.
So, and then that's what it was. Am I correct in saying that?
We'd have to wait for an official word from SNK. Haha, but we'll see.
What's happening is probably they're just like, yo, fight the power, fuck the man, SNK for life, underground movement.
So, in case anybody has been living under a rock for the last 18 hours, the news of KOF 14 has gotten fast and furious. We are sitting on basically almost an entire cast list, cast reveal. We have release dates for the United States and Japan and everywhere else involved. We have a couple different DLC offerings with pre-orders, and we have a stick from Hori, which is really interesting in the fact that SNK and Hori have had lawsuits with each other in the last 20 years.
Maybe this is part of the lawsuit settlement,
It could be. So, where do you guys want to start? There's a lot, because this is sort of like, it's almost like the rebirth of SNK. In a lot of ways.
Of SDR, going back to our original roots.
It is. Yeah. I disagree.
Talk about KOF again. Well, I think the best place to start is, obviously, they had a stream last night. We got to see how this game is played with some of the newer characters, and we got to see a whole bunch of new trailers that just basically, not only did the trailers reveal everything, but the merchandise that,
What's really cool about this is that the trailers gave us every character, but what they didn't do is reveal every character. And because they're like, okay, here's what the character looks like, but we're not going to tell you what they do.
Exactly.
And so there's a bunch of new characters that are going to show up, and they just didn't give us anything. They're like, yes, this is the visual of the character, because they already knew. It was basically like, they know. They're like,
that's
we
all
know
we needed.
It's been leaked.
That's all we needed.
It's like, they know it's been leaked. And so they're like, here you go, here's your characters, but we're not going to tell you exactly.
Yeah, I think it was a really gutsy maneuver. I mean, at this point, they're like, you know what? We could still do this, but we can still have fun our own way. We can still dance around a lot of questions and stuff like that. Reveal. Okay, so you know the cast list, but you don't know the move list like so much, and or what the move's gonna do. For all we know, Power Wave now shoots backwards. Stuff like that. Obviously, that's not what I'm talking about, but
you don't know if this character sucks. You don't know if your favorite character plays the same way that they played. And I think the biggest thing is that you don't know if you're going to even like it. It's almost weird when they're almost telling you like, hey, are you man enough to enjoy this game? Sight unseen. Because here's the characters that you wanted, and we're not even going to demo them. You got to wait.
Yeah. I think they should do events at GameStop where you have to, when they do a midnight release, but you got to walk across hot coals to go get it, so you can burn the fight. You're like, oh man.
Burn the fight.
I mean, that is burning to fight, right?
You can only get it if you sit on like a stationary bike and like pedal, off like 200 calories. All right, you feel the burn? All right, cool.
All right. All right, so I have the perfect place to start because I think we should get it out the way. We should get out everything that we don't like about it so far, judging from last night.
Still looks like Garbo.
Still,
I think it looks better than it did before. It
does. No, it definitely does.
That new shader is really cool. I like the visual style it gives rather than the typical looking like Unreal Engine shadows.
Yeah, Unreal Engine.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
I'll say this. I feel like some characters look a lot better than others. Like, certain characters look good. Like, I'll say this. Clark, to me, Clark looks great. Clark looks like Clark. And thank God, because, like, he doesn't look like this KOF 13 garbage ass, like, roided up. He just looks like a big dude. I'm like, thank you. God, you guys actually understand how this character is supposed to look.
I don't know why, but every time I see King of Fighters 13, Ralph and Clark, I just imagine, like, someone walking through, like, a river in, like, some, like Southeast Asian country, and then these two dudes just, like, pop up out of the water and just, like, strangle each other. They're like, oh, shit. Special forces, oh goddamn!
Don't make me punch your throat.
Yeah, like they look like they were just the most ridiculous, like, super Rambos you can get,
dude. And you know what's funny is a lot of the characters in 14 look pretty good now. I would say honestly, faces are the worst thing they've got right now.
Yeah,
and they do. Like, there's a lot of faces that are kind of whack as hell, but at least they've got several months to fix that.
Yeah, I gotta say though, like, bringing that up, that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. Like, honestly, like, all the female faces are like bad except for like Angel. I think they're just like way too simplistic.
Right.
It's just like they're so simple and soft.
They just
and,
look,
like,
that's the thing is, like, the best ones look like straight anime faces, and the bad ones look like, God, I don't. Yeah.
Like placeholder faces.
Yeah, like a hot mess.
Check it out. Two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Can we all agree that Yuri looks like a bobblehead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her head is humongous.
Ooh.
You know what's funny is I looked at it after you guys were talking about that on your stream last night, Gibby, and I was like, all right, Yuri looks. She doesn't look good, but God, it's like. Compared to Kula, she ain't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I'm just like, I keep going back to Kula, man. Like, I cannot. Nobody can tell me anything is worse than Kula. Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, this face is really bad, and I keep looking back at Kula. I'm like, God, that face, dude.
It's like she just got like smacked.
It's the worst shit ever.
It's like she just got like slapped with like one of those face powder things, just like boom, and her face is
just so atrocious. Like, people in chat are saying Leona looks not too bad. I give it that.
Leona looks great.
Yeah,
that was always.
But you got to remember, Leona was she was from one of the earliest characters we saw, so she's been through development hell a little bit.
Yeah, and King looks fine. Mai looks a little weird from what I can tell. I haven't seen
her boobs are saggy.
Angel probably looks the best to me outside of Leona.
Angel looks fine.
Yeah, she's like, oh, okay.
She's straight anime. It worked out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to mess that up.
I think that's kind of the problem. Is like when she came in, she obviously like was already way more anime, and while that was the same time as Kula, like Kula just didn't really. I don't know.
I sort of feel like they're caught in this weird position where they're like, since they're doing 3D models, they're sort of trying to do this like half realistic, half anime, and it's like, don't do the realistic, guys.
Yeah, the realistic never works for you.
Just don't do it. Just go to anime. You're gonna fucking fail.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would go that whole way because, like, I look at Kyo, and Kyo, I was telling somebody yesterday, he looks like they basically bred him to be a live-action drama star. Like they're waiting for somebody to show up and play this guy on TV.
He looks like a K-drama actor, like, honestly, like some baby face, like super young. What they did to him is like what they did to Tina and DOA. It's like, yeah, that bomb blonde shell wrestler. Now she's like 5'5" and looks completely different. Like, what happened? What? Thought she was like 5'9". She was way taller than
me. I mean, given that SNK has already explained their intentions to make a live-action version of KOF on TV, like, it wouldn't surprise me if Kyo totally just played into that.
Yeah.
Like, now they don't have to even cast. They just find somebody who looks like him. It's like, can you pretend to be athletic?
I just can't wait for them to be like, since the last King of Fighters, several years has passed, and yet somehow Kyo is now 18 and in high school still. But this time he's gonna graduate.
But I mean, that's that normal shit.
He's like 23 now. Shit.
Yeah, I know. He's like, he's 23 and he's still in high school. It's like,
Well, I mean, hey,
come
that's
on.
like, but I mean, like, what year are you supposed to be like? Fucking almost 28
She's in college or something
right
shit,
now,
yeah.
right?
No, she's like 24.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Look, lore-wise, she's in her 40s, all right? She's getting older.
It's a weird
She was
looking
technically
40-year-old.
born in like the 70s, but that's not the point.
Look, I mean, that's like talking about Captain America fighting in World War II. We don't really talk about that most of the time.
You think she was
anymore.
frozen in the lake or some shit? Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
Everybody's saying they want Berkey 1, Mr. Karate 2, Ryo.
So,
But
so,
I want.
okay.
I
I'm talking
want.
about what you want.
No, that's what people are saying they want. What I want is Mr. Karate 2, Fatal Fury, Wild Ambition. You look way cooler than that.
Jesus.
But so what you want is interesting, considering there's a floating DLC list right now.
And this is one of the
yeah.
things
We
that
have not covered this, and nobody's covered this because it's just a lot of discombobulated forum posts.
it's just names that somebody listed out, and
And it's
people
been
are like,
a couple different. It's been a couple different places. Is the interesting thing,
Mhm.
and there are different names. So there was a post on Shoryuken, and the names out of the Shoryuken post were Shingo, Whip, Bao, Takuma, Blue Mary, Kasumi, Vanessa, June, Raiden, Yamazaki, Jin Chonrei, Lee, and then 2 new characters. An MMA fighter and a shapeshifter who actually mimics old characters. However, apparently, according to Ora Ralph, there was a post in a different forum that actually listed Hydern as well.
Oh, wow.
I feel like Hydern was actually listed on this also, because I saw his name in Kana.
Well, then maybe it was just not listed in the original post when they translated.
Yeah, and I
Because
think they just
I
didn't-
can't read that shit, honestly.
All right, so the Kana says Ikari, and then next to it says Hydern. So
Okay.
he's in there on this list, but
So
they
then-
didn't put it on
then
there for some reason.
that might be just the one list.
Right, yeah.
And if that's true, I mean, obviously we don't know because you never fucking tell when random people post on a forum. But all the other leaks for this game so far have turned out to be true. So
That's the
to
thing.
say.
All right, so remember what I said yesterday, where like I saw it, we SDRcast at Twitter, we retweeted it, and I retweeted it, and I said, you know what, that's all I'm gonna do, because there's literally nothing behind it. But given
no, exactly.
the amount
and
of
that's why we didn't talk about it on I Play Winner either. It's like I can't say anything other than like, hey,
this exists.
yeah, exactly. There's somebody on a Shoryuken who's not giving a source who just posted names. Like, come on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to do this. I'd love to be like, hey, this is a rumor, but at the same time, you're not going to give me any kind of source. I'm not gonna report it. You're gonna have to give me a little bit more than, hey, I told you this happens. So it happens? Really? Okay, you guy I don't know as a forum poster. I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, when somebody tells me never doubt them, I'm just like, I'm always gonna doubt you, man.
Yeah, you got to.
I've learned better than that. But still, given what we went through with the previous leak of the roster, like it's kind of hard not to be like, maybe.
Yeah, you have to take notice, man. It's you really
That's the
just
thing.
go like,
This
you
old
look
bait.
at it and you're like, man, I wonder if that's true, because you, like you said, the original rumor leak was 100% true.
Yeah.
If we're looking, and like we were talking about earlier, so the entire cast has been revealed now.
Yep.
And it looks like that was the exact reveal.
They
When
even had
they
a picture
leaked
for it.
When they leaked it, we didn't have all the names, but you look at it now, you look at the full cast, and you're like, damn, they were right.
Yeah, I definitely had a holy shit moment when, like, King of Dinosaurs came out, and I was just like, son of a bitch, really?
No, the best part is like people like, oh, the list said T-Zock's in it, but it just said T-Zock, but no, it definitely said T-Zock in a goddamn dinosaur outfit.
That was just like, I was like, I don't drink coffee, but like I was drinking something in the morning. It just like ended up all over the floor.
Beer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's actually funny. considering
By the way, King of Dinosaurs normals. I don't know for anybody who watched the stream. King of Dinosaurs normals look mad good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, this character is good. I just watched I was like, his normals. These normals are amazing.
They're
Holy
making up
shit.
they're making up for the last 3 games he was in. They're just like, okay, guys, it's time for you to win some matches.
what do you mean making up? He was amazing in every game he's in.
No
He's so
way.
good.
He was ass in 11.
Carl.
Did anyone ever actually hit that jump move he has? What was that?
The air grab.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone.
That's
I
just
don't
his
know if
framework center, isn't
does
it?
it actually just like because he does a hop and like they try to jump into it, they try to stand into it, and nobody could figure out what it was.
Oh, was it like? Does he do like a jumping forward somersault or something?
No, he just kind of like hops forward.
That might be a command hop for some reason, or I don't know.
No, it looked like it was. It looked almost like it was like Alex's DDT or something like that. But like people stood and people jumped, and I never saw it hit anything. And like it looked like they were trying to figure out what it hit, and nobody did.
It sounds
And
like
I was
his
like-
UOH, but maybe it's like a Shining Wizard where they have to crouch. Who knows?
I don't. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It was interesting.
I'm
So,
hoping
it was
it's not some kind
cool.
of weird command hop shit, man.
The thing I like about
like his UOH and do the instant air command grab.
it
That'd
could
be
be
tight.
it could be a follow up to it, or like you can probably go into multiple things out of it. But
Oh, like almost like a hooligan.
yeah,
That would be
Uh,
interesting as hell.
the thing I like about King of Dinosaurs, so he retains most of T-Zog's normals, air and ground normals, but then sticking to kayfabe, he needs to have dino attacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he claws at you. He does all these like raptor style attacks.
Dude, he's got the 2-hit sweep. That looks so good.
Mhm.
The tail? Oh man, I was like, yo, unless this is like the most punishable move ever, this looks like so easy to deal with. Like you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw sweep out. You're gonna deal with it.
Well, given KOF history, it might be a cancelable sweep.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'll be so good.
Like he cancels
Yeah,
into
like-
a run grab or some shit.
Yeah, it could be cancelable on only the first hit, probably, or a second hit would be even dumber.
That would be the cheapest.
Yeah,
Who knows?
but
Maybe his leap forward is a OTG throw. You knock him down with the first hit. Then
Wow. Oh, like it's like a splash or something.
jump him. or that, or like
How
you maybe
tight
surf,
would that be?
you surfboard on him. You know, slide across the
I mean, I
ground.
guess you can just like buffer the input, and if it hits, you're just like, whatever, hit the button, right?
So, but
Who knows?
God.
the game has evolved. All right, so we can just jump back all these months, and that game looked like complete butt.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I still think the game needs to improve visually to get a main market sell, like a really good sell. But the game looks so much better now. The game looks like it's been developed well. It feels like they know the game and the way it should play. Which is, it should play like 98 because the rest of those games are butt.
Hey, could play like 11 too, because quick shift is not good.
Anyway, so 98 and the rest of those games are butt. And I'm just fucking around. But it does look like they're paying a lot of attention to response. Like people who play the game, every time, it does look like they're listening. And that is so refreshing. Because how often have we talked on this show about like SNK not giving a shit
Or anybody.
about what people say?
Like anybody not
I thought
giving
that
a
was
shit.
our whole like tagline.
No, that's exactly what I'm talking about, dude. Like you guys have mentioned it so many times. You're like, SNK doesn't pay attention to what their fans think, and it does feel like they are, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot
Step
to,
forward.
and I think that has a lot to do with like, they know that they didn't do the best job previously. At least with KOF 13, they know that they had something there, and by the time that they realized it, they were like, "Oh shit, it's dead." We could have made so much money. So they're trying to make up for that with this. I think that and I knew that they were doing this. I remember I explained it on the show, like, hey, it's actually like SNK is being 100% transparent with their process. When we see the first trailer, it's like, okay, obviously they say it's a work in progress. Next trailer comes out, there's a little bit of improvement visually, so they're actually showing us what's happening behind the scenes. But the one thing I feel like they forgot is to actually tell us what they were doing, because it took a while for people to realize what was happening.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that people are dumb and they need to be have their hands held, but if you're promoting a game and you want to draw attention to the fact that you're improving it in real time, you gotta say so, man. Just so there can never be any doubt, like, hey, we're working on this game. It's not gonna look like this when it comes out. It's gonna look better. You're gonna enjoy it.
merely been implying that with the "this is a work in progress." You know,
Basically,
they've been showing it in between trailers, like in between, be like, "Oh, okay, it's getting better and better."
Meanwhile,
but they're not outright saying it.
Meanwhile, me and Abe are like sitting here with our fucking butts clenched for every week, waiting for Thursday. Like, oh God, I hope it looks better this week. You know. And it does, and they came through, and I never had a doubt that they would. It was just like, man, like, can you?
Really? You never had a doubt?
I never had a doubt that they would do it. I was the one that was saying that they could do it.
Really?
You can go back in the archives, check the film.
You're a true believer.
I am a true believer. Stan, leave me right now. Just crown me on the head. I
So
never
what you're telling
doubted
me
them for a
is that
second.
You're one of those guys who actually still thinks that Sonic is going to get a new good game.
Hey,
Look,
Sega
don't-
said sorry, but he also
I'll
said
have you know.
Sega.
I'll have you know that, first of all, you know I never believe Sega's ever going to do anything right again. Because they literally took themselves out of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man. It's the same syndrome.
No, I had my like misgivings. I was like, hey man, you know, there's definitely time to make this look better, and we're not seeing it at a very rapid pace. And now we are. That's the thing. Like every.
Hey, dude, I completely agree. Like, and that's the thing is, I will completely admit that this game looks at least 50 times better than it did when we saw the original trailer.
Like back in Tokyo Game Show, like holy shit,
Yeah.
you know.
And don't get me wrong, I still think the game is gonna need to look better, regardless of what a lot of people think. Right now, this is not good enough. And I hate to say it that way because the game could be great, but you don't want to get trapped in the same place that SNK was trapped in the 90s, which was these games are great games, they're fun games, and that nobody gives a shit because they're graphically inferior to Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
You're really going to go back and repeat the mistakes of 20 years ago? Can't do that unless you want to go bankrupt again.
That's the scary thing here is do they want to go bankrupt again?
Like,
Because sometimes I don't
Atlas,
know.
I'll say this: Atlas is publishing their games. That's one step in the right direction for them because they're not publishing their own games anymore.
No.
Smart, because that's a cost you don't have to bear anymore.
Fuck! I just realized
That's a
Sega's
good
publishing
choice.
this game.
But I do worry that it's like it goes back to the same thing, man. Like, this is their first game, so I will not be as harsh as I could be on them because, you know, like they've said in many interviews, that this is a team that's basically starting over.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sort of learning all this stuff. So I give them 1. You know, if this game doesn't look as good as we thought it could look at the end, give them 1. Next game, if the next game isn't, man,
Well,
sorry.
here's what I talked to a lot of
Gotta
people
worry
about.
about it.
I look at games like Exerd, right? When Exerd Sign came out, it already looked great. Revelator comes out and there's like a visual touch up that none of us really thought was needed, but they did it anyway. And you know, it looks amazing. So I don't think that's entirely impossible for SNK to do, but I think it's going to take people buying the game, showing that there's good faith behind it, and for them to like want to spend their time and money on it versus just making, you know, another game 2-3 years later, you know.
Well, I think the big thing is that, you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, SF5 doesn't look good." I won't disagree. SF5 looks like complete ass. Capcom's always going to get a pass.
Yeah.
If anyone actually wants to dispute that, please try. Capcom will always get a pass based on appearance, no matter what, because it's Capcom, it's Street Fighter. That's the scene's foundation. That's not even a question to me. Street Fighter 4 was the shittiest looking game of that generation. Like, that game is the ugliest piece of garbage I've ever seen. Nobody cared.
I mean, I did.
Yeah, well, I mean, the people
Nobody that mattered cared.
all the thousands of people who played the game didn't give a shit.
They didn't even care that, you know, it wasn't
And you know,
necessarily
the game that looked good was Marvel. Marvel was beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
Marvel 3 was actually amazing. The team that did Marvel 3, like, I was like, damn, that's impressive. Like, y'all did some good fucking work.
And then they gave up on it.
Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
But I think that has more to do with their contract with Marvel than anything.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I was gonna say
definitely
it
does.
wasn't that they gave up on it; they were forced to just stop doing anything.
Well, we could
So,
totally just build up Takenoko versus Capcom.
So for me, you got to look at Street Fighter V is going to get a pass, no matter what. Hate to say it, like, look, there are already better looking games than Street Fighter V anyway. I mean, Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear both already look 100 times better.
Mm-hmm.
Killer
KI.
Instinct looks better
Yeah.
than Street Fighter V.
Yeah,
Like-
it looks great.
MKX, I'd say it's debatably better.
Mhm.
People can say about people can say MKX looks slightly jerkier, but
Yeah, until you see the
man,
motion,
the character models I still think are better than Street Fighter V's. It's still Street Fighter, man. You're not going to get around that.
The fact that it has a Street Fighter name on it is all it needs.
Yeah.
I don't think you should want to get around it either. I think that there's a lot of people out here that are right now they want to compare, especially KOF 14 and Street Fighter 5, and say like, oh, this looks better than that. And I'm like, in the end of it, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna play your game and you want people to come in and play the game that you like, so you have more competition, so that your scene grows while you're not just constantly hoofing it to make things happen. And in that sense, so like the whole visual argument doesn't even matter. The biggest argument you have to worry about is the fucking netcode.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, and then that's the thing. Is like, but let's finish really quickly the graphics, and we'll go into netcode in a second because that's going to be the huge kill.
Yeah.
It's like Tekken 7 is a game that's not even out yet, and Tekken 7 is probably the most beautiful fighting game in terms of detail on the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for quote-unquote realistic graphics, it just destroys Street Fighter. It just destroys DOA in most cases. But graphics, again, we go back to graphics aren't everything. You got to roll it back. Because a lot of people just don't like Tekken no matter what you do. So there is a happy medium where like I'm talking about. I love Guilty Gear. I love I think this game is a beautiful game, and I think the Street Fighter V looks like. But a lot of people think that Street Fighter V is still the epitome of gameplay. So you still have to find that happy medium, and I think it's going to be hard for KOF to find that because it's an outsider coming in to the mainstream fighting game. Yes, SNK fans are plentiful. And they have been for years, but finding that happy medium where it's like your graphics are good enough to get in the door, but your gameplay is also strong enough to appeal to randoms, that's hard,
Yeah.
to be completely honest.
I think 13 had it the best though. I don't know how 14 is gonna do, but
You know what 13 lost? 13
Yeah.
lost exactly what you were just about to talk about, which was the online play.
The freaking netcode.
And it's all
man.
you, sir. That the floor is yours.
The
Let's talk about
freaking
online.
netcode, man. So we have we have 2 games under our belt in America for KOF, 12 and 13. And I know everybody hates to talk about 12 for obvious reasons, but let's face it, if 12 had decent netcode, it probably would have lasted a lot longer on the charts. Unfortunately, it didn't. And so a lot of people were expecting that to be better in 13. And, to their credit, it was better than 12's, but it still was in no shape or form playable at a high level. And I think a lot of people just got so disappointed by that because a lot of people bought that game. People say what you want about shirt monsters at EVO 2012, but those people own the game.
Yeah.
So there was definitely an awakening there for the KOF franchise. It just couldn't stay awake because nobody could play the fucking game most of the time. So now we're left with the situation where hey, do we want to focus all of our attention on visuals, or we want to focus all of our attention on netcode? And I kind of feel like like you said, you make this game passable, you give it playability, but the final piece of the puzzle, and right now in the year 2016, it's likely the most important piece is, can you make this playable between 2 people across the country or even across states? Can somebody play somebody else at a decent to high level from home on the internet?
And this is a huge issue right now. So we've already talked about, in the past, we've talked about how the Guilty Gear Xrd online was spotty. We've
Right.
talked about how Street Fighter V online can be spotty. We've talked about how KOF 13's online was complete fucking trash for the longest time, and that only the Steam version made it a little better.
Slightly bearable. I want to put a note in there. For the beta, me and Gibby will always say this. The beta was awesome. The beta was perfect, and they killed it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's gone now.
So here's the thing: is that there are a lot of games that have good net play. Skullgirls apparently has fantastic net play. I don't play it. I've only heard this. I've been told this by players who play it. But the thing about it is, you got to have that. You got to have that meeting of great net play and general acceptability. So like KOF, if KOF can meet that, it's a huge question.
And they got a lot
to say that I think the characters of KOF, the KOF like genre and its, I don't know how to say this, like the story, the characters, all that stuff, people, fighting game players know them. Even if they're not big fans into it, the mythology, as you will. They're not unfamiliar with it, but a lot of the time is that they were just like, why would I play that game? I can't play it against anybody else.
Yeah.
Who's going to play me?
Yeah, training mode all day. And they've got they've got a lot to live up to. It's almost to the point where I wouldn't even say that they have to make the netcode playable. They have to make it like the best they've ever made it. And I'm not just talking about playability. I'm like, we need, spectating lobbies, which they've talked about. This needs to be a modern experience online. We can't do this. Like
it has to be.
Go ahead.
Oh, go for it. No, you finish. Sorry.
I was gonna say like it can no longer be like you match up against this guy, play until you're fucking bored. This has to be a fucking lobby.
It has to be at least as good as the Exert.
Definitely.
It probably actually has to be better.
Definitely.
To actually drag players into this, because there are players who like these characters. Believe me, I talk to a lot of people who I've never, ever in my entire life thought played KOF. But they have favorite KOF characters. But you know what they will not do? They will not play a KOF game.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Because they don't know any players, and the only players they know.
No, it's not even just that they don't know any players. They just don't give a shit.
That's awesome.
I mean, there's that. Yeah, but then there's a lot of things that goes on with that. Because I even remember 2011 Evo. There was the whole Street Fighter 13 side tournament event. Everybody was playing and having a good time. And then people were walking by. They had the console version on demo. I just remember this statement that someone had made. They were like, "Oh yeah, King of Fighters. Yeah, that game's really cool, but it's too hard. So I'm probably not gonna play it or whatever." And I'm like, man, fuck you guys. Like seriously, these guys know all the characters. They know fucking who people's masters were and shit. They know the name of Leona's dad that she killed and all that stuff. And it's like, just play the fucking game. Come on.
Yeah,
Especially this one.
But that's the thing, is that like, if you can't give them more than just the lore, and don't get me wrong, KOF, I honestly, out of all fighting games, outside of maybe MK, KOF has the most rich lore and the most followers of it. And MK has already proved in sales that the lore can sell a game. And we know that.
Oh, yeah.
The story mode, like the rich history of the characters and just telling a good story with them, you can sell that game. KOF should be able to do that. And somehow they've not succeeded with that over the years. So this, I don't want to say it needs to be the game, but I think it needs to be the game that does that.
Because SNK, so basically, while they're the same company, technically they're a whole new company now. They're starting fresh, starting from the beginning, and they need this to catapult them into success again. If they are going to live up to all the words they said about being the premier goddamn fighting game company again, like they were in the 90s, all right, what they said, not me. But if they intend on doing that, this needs to be the quote-unquote killer app for fighting games.
Yeah,
this has to.
I completely agree.
That game, and if it's not, like, if it's a good game, if it does fairly well, better than what KOF 13 did and previous KOFs did, it can help out. They can start branching out into other franchises and slowly build up the KOF brand with other franchises again. So like they can release Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, whatever games to help build up King of Fighters even more. Get fans from the other series like, hey, yeah, we're going to transition all these new characters, all these new mechanics into the new King of Fighters game or this King of Fighters update. And it's something that can be done, but we'll see how it all plays out because sales are important, and
I mean,
casual
I feel like
market is going to dictate sales more so.
And I feel like this is a big gamble for them, and I think they know it is too, because they basically pulled out of pachinko because that market is apparently failing according to reports. But the thing about it is that the games market is no sure thing either, and they're doubling down on it again. They went back to the old SNK. They went back to the future is now. They're like, we're going back to games. We're going back to games and games properties. Like, so this is sort of them just saying, hey, we're here. And KOF 14 is sort of the start of it. And it's kind of up to this game whether it's the start and the end, or it's the start of something more.
The future is now.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, dude.
Honestly, this is literally like your SNK's future is now because if they don't do well,
they fucked this up, man.
Yeah, ugh.
And it sucks because in a lot of ways it sucks because I think a lot of people will support this game regardless because they want SNK to succeed, and I don't want that. I want this game to succeed if it's good.
Yeah, I don't want no blind allegiance here. I want people to play this
game.
Yeah, man,
and I think there's going to be anyway, and don't get me wrong, I understand that, and I support people who think that a company is going to put out better content down the road no matter what. But it's still hard for me to say, hey, support something that I think is crap.
Oh yeah.
So I don't want this game to be crap, and I don't think it can be. I think it can be better than crap. I think it can be great as long as they put the time in.
Yeah.
Are you saying make KOF great again?
Yeah.
Are you really going to do this? We're not doing this. Just roll it back, son. Roll it back. No, go home. Go home. Get off the call. You're done.
The thing that kind of baffles me is definitely how integral, like we were saying, net play is to the success of a game. If this game was just like moderate at best, but you could play it with your buddies and you can party mode with your buddies against other people, that's already going to be something to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter how good we are, but collectively I could play with my friends,
Oh yeah, it's a game fight, and it's totally cool, and like I'm looking forward to that, but it's just like, will it work?
I think it will, but the thing, I don't understand. Okay. Shout out to Tekken 7 again, because they are saying that they are working on Netcode hardcore.
And if anybody has played Tekken Tag 2 online, they will know that is probably easily the best or second best netcode of any fighting game.
It's pretty good.
And people still bitch about that.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, I don't understand how like a fighting game like is playing against someone else and the game working well. But especially with the age of technology and social media, how everybody's connected, to not have good netcode in a fighting game is seriously such an atrocity. And I don't know if fighting game developers don't know that, or do they just not realize you probably need to have a whole team just to make the netcode.
Well, you need somebody sitting there telling you that has authority saying you can't make this netcode shitty. Like, this cannot go out the gate until this is playable by at least 80% of Earth's population,
Yeah. Especially with all the different regions that they're showing off in the trailer, because that's literally the people who play fighting games. Everybody around the world, Not like a lot of people, but there's people everywhere. If I could play someone, online, like I live in podunk nowhere, and there's nobody around me to play, but I can go online and find a decent match any day of the week, that is going to sell your game way better than anybody else, because then you're going to be like, hey, do you want to play? You don't have to worry about it. We have team practice mode and party battles and whatnot. You can just get online. They should be a fighting game that's netcode so good is that you never even have to go to an event, And everything could be online.
And that worries me because, like, we're talking about, okay, so let's look at this. Namco Bandai, they started with Tag 2. Apparently, everybody says Pokken. That game's netcode
is the trillest. I have never had a bad match when I played.
So here's the thing: is that Namco Bandai has accomplished this so far. At least on a certain level. Whereas SNK Playmore has not proven that their netcode is worth a shit ever.
Not
and they're
entirely.
Hold on, dude.
Okay.
And they're trying to do 6-person online matches.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yo, how about you prove me a one-on-one 3-versus-3 match can work before you try to get into this 6-person shit? And that's not me trying to be mean. That's me being like, I'd like to play this game against Chris and Gibby and Walkman and Sanchez online. Then that's real.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what everybody's looking for.
I want to have the ability to play the game that I bought anytime I want to.
That's killing me.
I will say though that the recent Steam releases are pretty good for netcode.
I've actually heard that.
Of course, this is not Steam, so we're starting from scratch again.
I just really hope, because I remember they were like, "Oh, don't worry, 13 netcode's better." By the way, it's modified 12 netcode, and I'm like, "Come on, son!" It's like, check it out. Check out this rope bridge. We added a couple boards on it. Like, okay.
Good. I won't fall to my death this time. Not as.
Oh man, it's like Temple of Doom. You're just walking along the bridge, and the board falls out, and you just look down, and you're like, all right, I'll walk past it.
Yeah.
Just hold on to the rope, man.
If your game has amazing netcode and it's obviously like a franchise that existed for this long, it's a recipe for success. It can still look the way it looks now. It doesn't have to be beautiful. People still like the characters. People still like the lore. And if they had netcode to play the game, that's the real thing that really tears me up, is that fighting game developers just don't think about that. Or they do, but they don't care enough. There's already been solutions.
I wonder what the holdup with that is. We've talked about this a little bit on the show, but to me, there's such a different. I always feel like there's a different development mindset. So many people for the longest time have always talked about the BlazBlue Chrono Trigger.
Oh my god, that was
online being the best.
Oh, Calamity Trigger was a shit, man.
Everybody has said, and so many people I've talked to are just like, dude, that online net play was the best. It was easily the best I've ever played.
Definitely.
And all the games following that have not been as good.
Yeah.
And so what confuses the shit out of me is, what did they change? Why did they change it? And I don't understand.
Yeah.
You're talking about the first Blaze, right?
Yeah,
the
the
very first one.
Oh yeah, that shit was perfect. I played people in Germany.
I'm sorry, Calamity Trigger. My bad. I said
Chrono Trigger is better. That game was perfect. I played people in Germany multiple times, and I had no idea they were in Germany until they started talking shit to me about being bad. And I'm like, oh man, this guy's from Germany? It felt like he was right next to me.
Yeah, it's so funny because you start the match and it's lagging, it's chugging, it's like, and the character intros are playing super slow. But then you just wait for the game to pick up, and then you skip the intros, and then it's like you're playing perfect connections. That was it was the craziest thing.
It was really something special.
I honestly don't know how you could have perfect netcode and then go back. Did they just accidentally mess up the code somehow?
And so I just don't understand. Like you guys said, I don't understand. How does that change? How does that regress actually? What was the conversation that made them change the netcode that made it somehow worse?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or was it something that they did to try to make what they thought was something better? That they were like, oh, hey, we're going to make this code to do something better, and then that actually somehow made it worse.
I mean, if they did that,
nobody knows.
I don't know how they couldn't revert it. I'm thinking it has something to do with the core gameplay system in general. Something must have changed there that had nothing to do with the netcode that just progressively made it worse.
I don't know. I always wonder if it wasn't something that they tried to do to alleviate systems because they thought maybe that the game was not going the way they thought it would. Basically, maybe they thought that online was not as good as it could be. And then they tried to change it and somehow actually made it better for Japan, but actually made it worse for everywhere else. That's what my thought was.
That's what I think actually happens a lot. I'm glad they didn't play all the way through. Holy shit, that was loud.
But with the
that's my only guess. If there's something else that they did that changed it, I have no idea, to be honest.
Because it was a downward spiral.
Oh, it
got
definitely was.
Worse, 100%.
I kind of wonder though, because like if a company comes out with really good netcode out the gate, and let's say it costs a certain amount, and then somebody tells them like, hey, you can have similarly good netcode for less. You just have to give up this, and they take that just to like get a sequel out. Is that something that happens often? Because I can see that being a very economical choice for a company that might not be doing as well with the first release as they had hoped they would. Like sometimes you just got to cut your losses, and it's a sad reality. That it might just come down to the fact that like, hey, we just couldn't afford to maintain these fucking standards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what I was trying to say is the online to this KOF 14, it's going to do a mix of things. The party mode is going to be more for casual players, and that's going to draw them in, because most people don't want to, like, one of the major complaints about KOF over the past 6 years has been, I don't want to learn 3 characters. I just want to learn 1.
Well, that's fine.
And it's fine. This will help with that. Once again, needs good online. In order for the competitive scene to thrive and do well, the online is also going to need to be good for people who don't have a scene, but still, like, let's say a guy in, I don't know, Missouri somewhere, I don't know, Sparkster has no one to play with. He travels to events, but he has no one to play with around him, so he can't practice with anyone. He's going to need the online to play. So it's gonna, a lot of things are gonna come down to having good online. If the online is bad, once again, like previous KOF releases, it's not gonna help in any way. Like, it could be a great game with bad online, and people will just bash the game for having bad online.
I mean, not on top of that, though, think about it. If you had good online and you gave people the ability to play, we already had pockets of the United States where it was just like, I had no idea they had players, but this dude just randomly showed up and he kicked everyone's ass. If with better netcode, you also have better visibility from the community, because there'll be more people you can play against, and you realize there aren't people that are just secluded out there. There's a whole scene that you might not know about, but they exist, and that will give them exposure. That'll make the game more exposed to people. Be like, check it out. I could play with this guy. He plays a completely different way because of how they play out there, and it gives you a better understanding and whole picture.
You don't show up to Evo completely like, ignorant of certain like things that happen in one part of the country that you just, But I would say even if that doesn't happen, you always have the core community to fall back on. And that's what happened with 13. Like, obviously we could never make that netcode work. And so we had to fall back on locals and whatnot. And then, and so we did for a long time, at least 2 years. And that slowly dwindled out for whatever reason. I think at the least in this situation, people are coming into this game much smarter, much more seasoned in how to handle a community game and just like how to build stuff around it. Like, people have learned stuff from the last foray.
But I don't think that's something that should be required, is what I'm looking at.
No, it shouldn't be. But like, let's say that we just don't have. Let's say the netcode sucks and we have to go back to 13 status caveman living again.
And then I think the game's screwed.
The game is screwed in terms of like getting like major visibility, but at least
I think the game's screwed straight up.
I don't think it'll die as quickly. I think it'll survive longer than 13 did.
Yeah, I could give it that.
I can get with that, but I still don't think the game has a long life. I mean, the only reason I say this is look at a game like Killer Instinct.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Instinct has what is considered one of the best, if not the best, netcodes of all fighting games right now. The game still doesn't have a huge player base.
Yeah.
And that is with plenty of players who are quote unquote top players saying it's actually a fun game. What do you do without that?
Well,
I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, and I like KI. I think KI is really cool. I didn't get to play it until I finally got to play it when it came out the other week, season 3. But without even that, how do you survive?
Well,
and that's just being
Yeah, well, there's one thing that is different about King of Fighters and Killer Instinct is that as King of Fighters existed, it still is an IP people care about, a lot. whether or not the game is good, people really care about it. So that's the problem, is that you have great games with good netcode that are just going under the radar because KI, people think about what? I played it on the Super Nintendo, maybe I played KI Gold. It wasn't really a big game ever,
No, KI was huge back in the day.
Oh.
Only here.
Yeah, it really
Massive.
was. Like,
But it didn't keep going,
Well, yeah, it didn't keep going, but when it came out, it was bigger. It was legitimately bigger than Street Fighter. It was
But,
fucking huge.
This is just like another one of those things where people will buy into it simply because of the IP. And if you couple that with decent netcode and decent gameplay, then it's just a recipe for success, Even when Street Fighter 4 got first announced, they were like, oh shit, Street Fighter 4. It's one of those kind of things.
I would actually say, like, since we do talk about how Street Fighter has survived and how it gets a pass and it'll just always be popular, and I think that just has a lot to do with the fact that it is a world-renowned product. And in terms of fighting games, there's probably 3 games that get that kind of, notoriety. You got Street Fighter, you got Tekken, and you got KOF. Like, KOF is definitely world-renowned. So, in terms of KI, yeah, the community is going to be small because it's located entirely in this country. I mean, there might be pockets outside of it, but it's never going to be like that cultural icon that KOF is in countries that don't even play Street Fighter,
Mm-hmm. Not disagreeing.
It's just one of those things. And I think something like that will keep KOF going if in the horrible event we don't have good netcode.
But here's the thing, is that let's keep this shit real. Is that we've heard for years, and we heard before 13, and we heard with 13, that KOF was the most popular game in all these different places. And to be honest, it probably was. But you know what that meant for the US fighting game scene?
0.
It didn't mean jack or shit. Exactly. So I don't really give a shit about that because it doesn't mean anything for American tournaments, which is where we are. Don't get me wrong. I would be happy if the game does well internationally, but if the game doesn't do well here, there aren't going to be tournaments for it.
I mean,
that's the real truth, is that we can talk about how this game is popular internationally, but if it doesn't do well here, there aren't going to be tournaments for it, and there's not going to be a lot of money tournaments for it. That's for damn sure.
It would take large numbers of international people showing up for KOF, and I'm talking.
It would take a very large number.
Yeah, we're not even talking like Evo 2012 or 2013. We're talking about like whatever numbers America was generating in 2013 and 2012. The rest of the world has to equal that, so double that basically.
Yep.
I mean, and it can happen, obviously, but I don't think it'll happen without good netcode. I think we'll get the same people who were good in 13 and other KOF games coming out here, but I can't say for sure that we're going to get new people from like Kuwait or from Cambodia or whatever, right? We're not going to get like a lot of places that we no new faces.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Now, I still have a lot of confidence that they'll do it. I am hopeful that the netcode is going to be improved because, like I said, I've played the Steam versions of 98 UM and 2002 UM, and it feels pretty good. Like me and Gibby play all the time, or we did, and it felt fine. If I can at least accomplish that in 14, I'll call it a success. I'm going to
say this: if they invested in some netcode and then released King of Fighters 98 UM FE netcode edition, I'll pay again. I don't care if you made it that much better to the point where it was consistently amazing. I'll buy into whatever you need to get your netcode where it needs to be.
Right. Now, this also goes back to what we were saying about how SNK appears to be listening to people now. So I think they definitely know.
That's the interesting thing is we were talking about earlier. Go for it, dude.
I was just saying, it is the interesting thing that they know they have to do this, and they're pretty much that should be the only thing they're worried about. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the biggest thing on their plate. I would not be surprised if all of this,
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would not be surprised. Graphics and everything aside, if all that stuff was just totally suffering because they were just improving the netcode, I'd be like, God damn it, SNK, you fucking did it right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If the game looks like shit, but the netcode is perfect, if the game looks like this when it ships, and yet everybody tells me like, "Oh, dude, the netcode's godlike." I'll be like, "I'll buy that game."
Yeah.
Dude,
And that's not a joke. It's
you don't
true.
even have to tell me the netcode's godlike. You can tell me it's serviceable, and I'll be like, okay, I can play a couple states over. Maybe people, in Mexico, Canada, that's fine. But it has button config character select. Shit, here's $70. I'll pay extra.
By the way, it does have button config when you
It
pause the
does!
game. They
Did
showed
anyone
that
else-
last night.
That trailer was fucking comical to me because it was basically, hey guys, it's a complete game. We can't.
By the way, before you
funny.
said that, I've heard a lot of people saying that for the last 12 hours.
It's fucking comical. Like, I don't even know if they meant to do that or, they just happen to be fucking happenstance, but they basically said a trailer, it's like, hey, we've released characters that people have wanted. Here's some new characters. They look interesting. Here's some shit they're going to be reviewing over time. Like, we're getting character move lists that we can look at their site. They're slowly updating things. And they suddenly give us like a full trailer breakdown for their game, and it's like, we have online training mode, we have party mode, which fucking people used to bootleg on GGPO and find their own stupid ways to do it because they
Yep.
enjoy doing it.
Very true.
We have button config, character select. We have all this other shit, and it's like, oh, you mean stuff that should be in a fighting game? So you're selling me a complete game that kind of looks janky. It might have suspicious netcode, but we'll figure that out later. Fuck yeah, here's $70.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
here's
right
the
now-
only thing. The only thing is if they can look, as long as they can get the one-on-one, don't worry about this 3-on-3 shit, dude. Come on, like.
It's gimmicks, and I enjoy that they're entertaining
No,
it.
I don't want to see them try it.
But I
Man.
want
Like,
them
Well,
to.
here's the thing,
I
here's
want
the
them
thing, here's
to
the thing.
make one-on-one work.
I'm so mad.
Well, here's the fucking thing. Here's the thing. Is they basically told us, here's a complete product, and the party mode has been something that people have always wanted to do.
No, they did.
Yeah, so they basically told you, here's a complete product, and we threw exactly one sprinkle on it.
That sprinkle better not ruin my donut, dog.
And it's like, hey, no, you don't have to eat the sprinkle. You can eat around it, man. It's just like, you want to partake in that
I
sprinkle?
mean, I
that's
The
hope
all.
donut's
it, I
still
hope
gotta be
I
good,
can,
though.
but
The
what
meat's
I'm
still
worried
gotta
is
be
that
good.
that sprinkle is gonna weigh down the donut.
Look,
too
all I'm
much,
saying,
man.
all I'm
I'm on a
saying,
diet, homie.
all I'm saying is that's obviously a sprinkle, but other games out here, they're just giving me the donut hole and not much else.
All right.
I'm not gonna name names, but
That's true. You can't really make a burger bun out of a donut hole, so.
Yeah, you can, man. Like,
You make a slider, maybe.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what? Hey, but I've had some good sliders at places. I'm just saying.
We gonna talk about sliders now. We'll say that for the end of the show, please. Because I got some suggestions.
All right.
But you're
do you have
absolutely
anything
right.
else on KOF 14?
We've been talking about Netcode for the last 20 minutes. We didn't talk about the cast at all. We didn't talk about how Lu Long is basically, Yamazaki with feet.
Yamazaki with feet, who's hugs your neck, breaks your neck, and then
Makes you eat that ass. I'm gonna come out and say it. She makes you eat her ass.
She doesn't.
there's
If you look
nothing
at
wrong with that.
pictures,
It's
No one said there's anything wrong or right with it. It's just she doesn't do that.
I mean, that's true. She doesn't. Like, there's no.
Can we let
there's
the man dream?
Are you
No.
kidding me? So
We're not gonna let him sit here and give people false hope in the game. Saying, "Oh, this is going on." This people
So-
are like, "Oh, hey, I particularly like eating
Okay,
ass,"
if
and
we're
then
gonna
they
be
go,
like
"I'm gonna buy the game
extremely
because of that."
we're gonna be extremely fucking literal.
That's fair.
Okay, she breaks your neck and then sits on your face. Okay, there, literal.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
can't use
no,
no
it's
fucking
not-
colloquialisms
it's
up
way
in here.
different. You don't know what they about.
All I'm saying is if she's. Never mind, y'all suck.
Please,
All right.
please.
So here, this is the better thing. Screw that shit. You got the new hero of the game. All right, he's got air dashes. What do you guys think about air dashing?
He's gonna get hit by stand A repeatedly.
You think?
He's got double air dash.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Dude,
say. He
that's
can
so
dash
weird.
in and out.
Can we talk about why he looks like fuck? What was the character from Devil May Cry 4? The new main character?
Nero.
Yeah, why is he Nero with headphones?
He's
Listening
what's
to
the
that
Yuki
soundtrack.
from Battlefront. Yeah.
He's listening to his own
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Jesus.
Yeah, people are saying he looks as if he came out of Persona.
Just the headphones, man.
I don't think he looks like he came out of Persona. I just don't. Man, he's weird.
He literally looks like he came out of
Well-
S4 League because there's actually a weapon in S4 League that looks just like his hands. So
The thing about this game, and you can see with like several of the new character designs, they're going in like pretty much every goddamn direction you can think of.
yep.
Like
Yeah,
there's
which is great. They're
Yeah, it
appealing
is.
to a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Like look at Kim's dad. I'm pretty sure that's Korean Franco Bash.
no, it's
Wait,
not
it's
Korean
not
Franco
Kim's
Bash.
dad. It's
Or Kim's
Kim-
master. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Kim's
it's
master.
just Franco Bash. Like he's like, you know what? I'm gonna pretend to be someone I'm not,
Franco
just so I can
Bash.
be in this King of Fighters game
It's
finally. That's
Franco
what it is.
Bash.
He's like, I can't punch people. The last guy
You
who
guys
only
think
punched
that's
people.
weird? Like, have you
Cut.
guys seen the prisoner leader? Like, who is
Dude,
that
I'm
dude?
so mad about that, man. I was so hyped for that
What is
character.
up
All right.
with that?
Hold on.
He reminds me of Charles, man.
By the way, your boy got a Hershey's
I gotta-
Kiss for a dome.
I gotta find you guys a GIF. All right, good. Keep talking. I'm gonna find you guys a GIF. And
I'm
we're
just
gonna play
saying,
it on
like, you know
stream.
how hype I was for that character when I first saw him? I was like, I'm gonna play this character, and then like the freaking full portrait comes out, and I'm like, oh, he's a fucking Hershey's Kiss.
Xanadu's seen some shit, man. You see that expression on his face?
I remember Chris
right.
talking about that during Gibby's stream. He's like, dude, have you seen this? Gibby's like, what? He just kind of has a weird face. He's like, no, dude, he looks like a Hershey's Kiss. Come on,
Yeah, fucking
man.
Hershey's Kiss, man. Like they fucking just didn't drop the chocolate off right. They just let a little bit run off down the side.
There you go. I put the thing in
I
chat.
thought he just had like a flesh-colored freaking skull cap for a second
He's
there.
a
I was
little
like,
weird. I ain't lying.
please. Oh God, what is this shit?
This shit made me die when I saw it.
Oh, God, I saw it. I've already seen it. Never mind.
We're okay on that, man. We're okay on that.
I have to show it to the
here's
crowd.
my other thing is that there's the special invitation team, which is basically the most random characters. There's a dude in a mask, and I'm like, is this like substitute Mudman? Like, what's going on here?
It does look like Mudman.
But we don't know.
But yeah, there's no information. Like that's the thing. That's the good and bad thing about this. It's good because hey, look, we just saw the characters. Sick. Wait, what the hell? What's this character? What's that character? Here you go. Jonio is gonna play the shit out of this game because there's this Brazilian chick with a toucan on her. Does she fight with the toucan? Does she have toucan assists?
Like, okay.
Toucan is here.
The toucan has arrived in KOF. What the hell?
I mean, I'm really excited for it because you could potentially have the two-bird team, or you pick Nakaruru and have Mamahaha, and then undisclosed playable toucan.
How the hell does
I
Nakaruru even
feel like that
for
she's
now?
not gonna have the toucan as a fighting thing.
I'm
You
gonna
never
say.
never been
I'm gonna say they will.
I mean, I've been wrong before.
I'm gonna go with they will only because they have Nakaruru in the game. It's like, hey, she's got a bird. She fights with a bird.
Yeah,
why
that's-
not let someone else?
I mean, that would be really cool. Actually, it would be
Yeah.
different too.
Should they give her
And
a
they
frog?
can
then?
interact
Like,
with each other. They can have like some kind of unique personalities between each other and story mode and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Bird's gonna eat your bird, man. You know.
Now we just need a frog, and this game would be perfect.
I'm tripping off the fact that like Nakaruru.
really?
I'm tripping off the fact that Nakaruru and Mamahaha have finally combined Voltron style into one attack. Like, how long
I
did that
think
take?
that's the way it should be.
That should have been like that years ago.
I mean, they kind of did. She would like grab onto the bird.
That was more like a utility thing, Like, hey, Mamahaha, since you're up there, help us just out
Look,
real quick,
I just wanted you to know that Namahaha has the perfect Psycho Crusher, so it's fine.
Wow. Please.
Like Sniper Crusher, like
Yeah.
she's got Diagonal Psycho Crusher.
Talo comes out and hits the brave bird. We're good.
Yep.
We were actually talking about this last night. Like, Gibby told me, like, hey, hella people wanted Nakaruru in this game, and I'm like, I'm not saying
Oh
it
no,
didn't
Josh
happen.
told me he wanted the same.
It's
When
just,
I told him the actual character list got leaked, he was like, Nakaru was in? I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He started rubbing his hands. He's like, yo, I'm figuring out a team right now.
like, that shit's just, ugh. Like, I'd believe it in NGBC if they made a sequel for that. But in KOF, like, I always assumed KOF was grounded in some form of reality.
It
Are you
was.
joking? Are you really joking?
No, I'm not. Like,
No,
there was,
he means the SNK lore reality.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
like,
okay.
there-
That's what he means. So
There
like,
is a
I'm gonna fall back a
people-
little bit then.
people have been demanding SNK bring Samurai Showdown and Last Blade characters. People have come up with fan fiction scripts and they submitted it to SNK, basically saying, "Hey, look, you guys can come up with some kind of, a time warp happened. This guy is so powerful that his being created the time warp, and you can bring back these characters into
And-
this game."
Is that basically what the
everyone
boss
said-
character is supposed to be now?
No one knows.
Like, I'm
We'll
pretty
find out.
Damn.
But like, they have people have always wanted Haomaru, Nakaruru, and Genjiro in the game. That's what they wanted. That was a team, and I don't understand that. I get Nakaruru and Haomaru, but You gotta get someone other than Genji. Don't put Gen on.
What's wrong with Genji, though, man?
Because you got Haomaru already.
Don't make me remind you of those hands in Sacramento.
I'm gonna kill you. This is documented. I have threatened your life. All right. On stream. Okay. Yeah. No. Like people have been demanding her in games forever, and she is like probably top 5 SNK character in terms of fan popularity. And the fact that like there are a lot of newer people like you, Chris, who don't know this, and I mean newer as in people who like started playing with like 03 or later, because fans love the old characters. This is just a fucking fact. A lot of these characters who have not been in a game have a huge fan following, or have not been in a game in forever. Like take Rock for instance. I've said this multiple times. He has won almost every goddamn SNK character pool as the most popular SNK character ever.
But he sucks.
For whatever reason. And he's not in any game.
Yeah, he's not even like in. Wait, he's in NGBC, but that's about it.
He is, but that's it. That was 10 years ago?
Yeah. And CVS.
They could have put him in this. They could have put him in whatever. But like throwing in Nakurudo is probably a bigger deal because oh shit, now we have Samurai Showdown characters coming into King of Fighters. Oh my god.
I can already see the thread on Cyber Fanatics.
No, Jesus. Don't bring that place up.
You see, hold on. Chris, you're a lore nerd.
Okay.
Follow me here. I've been thinking about this since, Gibby started thinking about people demanding or submitting their fan fiction to SNK. So, in the previous games, the antagonists were those from the past.
Right.
Which, you had
you had Psyche, you had Mukai, you had Magaki.
Yeah. Shion.
Mm-hmm.
So what if they actually are from the past? Like, legitimately?
Well, I mean, they were.
Well, remember, during 13, Maximus sensors start going haywire because time literally stops.
That's true.
So there's obviously someone among them. What if someone among them can fuck with time to the point that people from, SNK world past, we're talking, the feudal eras in Japan, and we have Nakurudo and Mamahaha travel into the present day.
Well, I thought the whole point of 14 was that the main boss can warp time or in reality or something.
Well,
like
he
that.
might have been part of that crew is the whole thing. Like he might.
Yeah, we don't. There's 5 of those from the past that are named, and then there's like they're named or known, and then there's like 6.
There's like an entire sect of people that were unrevealed because of the story.
Yeah, there's just shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
but
now he's a Russian.
What about Captain Kidd from World Heroes? Yeah.
Hey, I like World Heroes. Like, where are all the World Heroes characters?
Where's Brocken?
Oh my god, I don't want Bomb Oki.
No, I don't give a shit about Brocken. I mean, fuck Brocken, but Captain Kidd's cool.
Pirate ship.
We mentioned lore and story and all that crap. So the main hero of the game is the Air Dash Kid, and he's from Team China. So it could imply that they're continuing the story that was left off in 2001, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
that's why.
So that's going to be a big deal for a lot of people because they were clamoring about that for years. They got so mad when they didn't continue it with the Ash Saga, or they didn't continue it and started the Ash Saga instead.
Well, that was basically
old character.
That was based around. Wasn't that based around Lin?
For viewers who don't know, like myself, explain why that's important. What happened?
I don't remember all the details, but after Nest dies, after the whole collapse of Nest, Pao gets some like special crazy powers, and they hint towards a new faction coming in to try to steal the powers or harness the power from him or
Kenso too, right? Kenso also.
Kenso lost his power because him and Pao like share it.
Yeah.
So that's why he had the one without psycho power.
And then you also had Lin, who just suddenly disappeared, and all of a sudden he's got like a whole gang of people coming after him.
He's a ninja. He does ninja things.
But he's a Chinese ninja.
He's a ninja. He does ninja things.
Yeah, well.
But does he have an Azuna drop?
He's a moderately.
Not again.
Lin is a sickly ninja. Like I'm pretty sure that like that thing on his mouth is a respirator.
No Izuna drop though. I mean, I gotta go with that.
I gotta admit, like, not a ninja then. Sorry.
That's true. Not a ninja.
Story.
He's
the story
just
mode
kind
of this game,
of a wacky dude in the shadows.
The story mode.
He's like Dean
game
Ambrose, but with shadows.
The story to this game is definitely going to sell copies to people.
Oh god, the story is so good.
KOF. No, it's not a matter of the story being good. It's just people want the story. And they've said that it's going to have like a rich and luscious story mode. So
The premise is
We'll
the
see.
best. Though.
Luscious.
Yeah, I was like luscious.
So the one thing that weirds me out is this isn't Nightmare Geese. This is just Geese.
No, he's alive.
No,
well, yeah. So as of KOF 2003, they brought Geese back. They said he never died in the KOF universe. That's when everyone figured, oh, it's official. KOF is no longer part of the original SNK storyline universe.
Right, he's only fallen off a building twice in Fatal
No,
Fury.
hold on, check it out.
Doesn't count,
What they can do is say that he never really died in the first place. He just led people to believe he died, and then they can continue going on with everything's all hunky dory, still the same. It's all good.
I mean, I've seen more contrived explanations
Yeah.
for fake
okay.
deaths.
Well, they
Here's
had
what
to,
happened. I got the official word.
Okay,
okay. Geese. He got his hand grabbed by Terry, and when he slapped the hand away, he knew that there was a painter scaffolding underneath him. So he was just like,
he just lowered himself
Billy!
down.
"Get the mattress! I'm jumping out."
The painter scaffolding. That's why he tells people he'll paint the fence with their blood.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was just a Doom bot the whole time.
No, I'm far more towards the theory that right before he hit the floor, he countered the impact.
He just did the
Oh, he
predictable.
just predictable.
Predictable.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, there's a car below me. Predictable."
He fucking
So hold on, wait,
suplexed,
what
he
were you
suplexed the
telling me?
planet. He basically suplexed the planet.
He didn't suplex the planet. He grabbed the planet, and then he just repositioned the planet.
Yeah, so he's on
Above
top
him.
of it.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
You guys are
Damn,
stupid.
that's insane.
I just grabbed it by its center and just rotated
Yeah.
it around its axis.
He just did the evac toss, just like, "Whoop, there you go. Taught my son this. He's good to go."
Too easy.
He's done shit. He is a horrible father.
Hey man,
That's
somehow
true.
Rock knew how to do the evac toss.
Wait,
Yeah.
okay, so wait, hold on.
Rock takes
Here's a
damage
quick
on his
question.
counter, so
Rock is Geese's son who Terry trained. Who is Alice?
Alice is.
Alice is a fangirl.
Yes, she's a
She is
Sakura.
a huge Terry fangirl.
She's Sakura.
Okay.
She's Kim's student.
No, she's not.
Oh, okay.
Is she? Really?
Yeah, she's in the background of like certain games.
Holy shit.
Okay. So we got about 10 minutes to go. We have a lot more news to actually cover, so let's just kind of talk about a little bit of it and rock from there.
All right. Team YouPorn.
Team YouPorn.
They.
Man,
I'm sorry,
I
not
really
Team
didn't want to go into this.
Yeah,
Team
Team YP.
Team YP. Apologies. Oh, air horn.
God damn it, my bad.
It's okay. Hold on, everyone.
Wow, that was
Thank
really
you.
Like a
quiet.
dull sound.
There you go. It was good.
I'll try it again.
They have been banned from participating in any ESL event due to being directly sponsored by a pornographic company.
company.
Yes.
And it's led to a bunch of different debates on what constitutes basically a ethical or family pleasing sponsor, because there's like tobacco companies,
Beer.
e-cigarette companies, beer
And
companies.
as of today, Bud Light has stepped into the esports ring.
Yeah,
Now,
That's what
they
I
do
was gonna
not
bring
have
up.
an official team,
Mhm.
so this is the difference between Team YP and Bud Light. Bud Light is not sponsoring a team.
Yeah.
They're sponsoring basically a string of events.
Yeah.
So, go for it.
I was gonna say, like, I wanted to bring this up because I hate dealing in situations like this, but cool, they're letting Bud Light do this. They would not let YouPorn do this.
No, they
Well,
wouldn't.
all right.
Simple
So
as that.
the argument has been made that because of Twitch terms of service against
Yeah.
porn, that Team YouPorn could not be included, just simply because they imply that somebody is watching porn at some point.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that came up 2 years ago with Brazzers.
Right.
Remember when Brazzers was trying to sponsor a bunch of people, and instantly, like Twitch didn't say anything. Instantly, the Cannons came out and said, "Yeah, no, we're not gonna. They're not gonna get any love on the stream. They're not gonna get anything." And they came out and said it instantly. They didn't let people. They didn't let it happen. They didn't let people speculate. Like, nah, it's just not happening. We're trying to make this as family as possible, and this is why, family and professional. And cool, I get it. Like they laid out why they didn't want it to happen, and with ESL, it's kind of vague. It's just
like we just can't have any references to it. No, all right, so I'm okay with that. It's their stream, it's their event, so
Yeah,
you
no,
do
it
whatever
is.
you want. But what do you do about individual players who have raunchy names? Do you make them change their names?
I mean,
Do you censor
I
their
assume
names?
you. I assume you
Yeah.
do.
you have to.
You just censor
you
their
need
names?
to be consistent.
Am I not allowed to be Walkman because it's a copyrighted product?
I mean,
Yeah,
possibly
that's
shit,
an
yeah.
interesting question.
And that's
Have you
a
ever thought
strange.
about you ever thought about the Smash player?
Yeah,
He's
Yeah, he
a-
changed his name, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
BMD.
Changed it.
BBMD.
Yeah, he's Dr. Pee-Pee.
even that could be
That's
misconstrued.
way different.
That could be misconstrued still, just because somebody could Google that shit. But regardless,
No,
it's just like it's one of those things where it becomes almost overblown the way they handle it. I feel, they could obviously work. They could have worked with YouPorn and said, "Hey, can you just, say this is like not related or something? Is there some way we could completely detach you while not completely detaching you? Like people have done that before, obviously."
Well, no, that's the thing. Team YP is completely detached from YouPorn in every way. If you look at the team page, you look at everything about them, there's no ties at all,
Yeah.
like publicly, to YouPorn. Some people say that the Team YouPorn logo kind of looks like a string of penises like put together and shit.
Yeah, it's just freaking
You can
biased.
say that about anything.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like Dizzy's outfit in Guilty Gear.
Your face looks like a string of penises.
so people are reaching. Like, I don't think that. So here's the thing. ESL didn't handle it wrong. They sent, from my understanding, they sent Team YouPorn or YP, whatever the hell, the notice like, hey, this isn't gonna fly, and then Team YP made it public from what I've read.
Right, and they did, and like that's pretty much all both parties could do.
And yeah, it's not so much that ESL handled it wrong. It's they handled it as any business would. Like,
Right.
hey, we
Which
don't want
is
you.
it's safety first,
Yeah, exactly.
basically.
So
Which is to say that they're not going to reach any kind of goal, basically, to say that they will allow anything that might get them in hot water.
Now, here's the thing, though. If
It's
even,
up to Team YP to basically make themselves safe, and that's crappy.
if YP completely removes the porn reference to their name, is that
there's no
enough?
porn reference in their name.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. It's YP. It's got the links to any of that. If
Well,
it-
part
just-
of the thing about it is that people have said the logo, and so I agree with you. If they remove the logo, what will happen?
they removed Team Genetic. They just call themselves like Team Trinity or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, if they actually change their name
Honestly,
and they change the logo, I don't know.
I feel like this could be a way for them to become a conglomerate and have, other products too. Like obviously the team was kind of be like another thing for them to have it be a money making venture, but then like I don't know, why don't they just have like team like Your World, where essentially it's your own video streaming site or something like that. Like, a YouTube, but for your gaming exploits,
What they could do, have this stupid idea, but this actually works in business. You create a subsidiary company from YouPorn called Young Players or some dumb shit. And Young Players is the team that runs Team YP, and they're now Team Young Players.
Young pimps.
Simple as that. Like, you can legitimately do this and
Definitely.
have no public ties to this company anymore. But you still get
They're
money. They become your
investors. They are
investor or
angel
whatever.
investors. They are venture capitalists.
Yeah, and this is a legit workaround to stuff like this. But does Team YP want to do that? Like, I don't know what they want to do. I haven't talked to any
Well,
of them.
from what I
And
understand,
that's the thing is that we don't know. Any of us don't know
Yeah.
exactly what their stance on all of this is.
I mean, obviously, I think YouPorn wanted to have an esports team, and I think part of that might have had to do, like, maybe they thought it'd be kind of funny if YouPorn's team got mentioned on TV or some shit like that, and they're like, you have to eat that and say YouPorn every time, or YP, and everybody knows what you're referencing. It's like kind of a little subtle troll or some shit like that, but that shouldn't stop them now. I think they're totally capable of changing everything around. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't, because that's up to them. They may feel really strongly about the name. They may think that they're totally, in the right to just call themselves Team YP, keep the same color scheme, keep the logo, and it's ESL that's got to loosen up the reins.
You're right. They should change the name to TPYT.
Pretty
I mean,
epic.
that would be fine too, actually.
Well, so an interesting thing is if you look what Bud Light's doing, Bud Light is not actually creating an official team. They're creating basically what amounts to an event or series of events. So they're going to have people who win this vote. They'll be part of quote-unquote Team Bud Light. They'll be part of content making, and then they'll have a tournament. So they're never actually a sponsored team.
You're basically the FGC.
So what it might be is that Bud Light might be trying to find a way around all this, which is to say that they're never sponsoring a complete team, and they're never asking anybody to put their name Bud Light on it, a team name. But what they're going to do is they're going to put their money in and say, hey, you guys should look toward us as a possible avenue for money.
Who the hell's going to be crazy enough to turn down Bud Light's money?
Yeah, nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's going to talk shit on Bud Light either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And that's another thing. You bring up money. Like Team Viewpoint, yeah, we've agreed that most organizers won't work with them even if they give them money. But Bud Light, they sponsor everything. Budweiser just sponsors everything. Sports. I've seen. What is it? Have they ever done WWF?
They sell there.
As far as I know, Bud Light never did. However, I do know that back in the old NWA days, Coors Light did NWA/WCW. I don't believe that I don't believe that WWF or WWF ever actually had active ring advertisements for these.
Well,
but WCW and NWA did do ring advertisements for beer.
I think
sure.
they did during the Stone Cold era.
Well, they did the Steve Weisers thing,
Yeah.
but I don't know that they ever actually.
Well,
there was never anything in the ring.
There was that incident with Brock Lesnar versus. There was that incident
more like a passing.
But there was that incident with Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg, where he straight up said he's a Coors man, and like he got a lot of shit for that.
That's true. I wasn't watching that much at that point in time. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
Definitely a subtle sponsor.
Yeah, but here's the kicker. So beer is considered an adult thing, as is porn. I mean, it's the same thing, same difference, really.
Yeah, but Twitch hasn't outlawed beer yet.
Yeah, well, they kind of have.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Look, you can't get shit faced, but you can still drink it.
Yeah, kind of. But we'll see where all this leads to. I'm sure more will develop in the next few weeks, and we'll probably hear more from Team YP people, because I know that the players and anyone who's sponsored by them, because they don't only have players. They've got that wrestler Joey Ryan, the man with the iron cock. He's sponsored by them as well.
Well, and he's one of the owners of PWG down here in SoCal too, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. So that's kind of a huge thing if you're living in the SoCal region.
And he's not happy about this. Like he's like expressed, like if you look at his Twitter, he's expressed displeasure with it, and as of all the players. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We can try to reach out to someone.
I wonder what the FGC is going to do about it. Like with this precedent set, what's going to happen to Filipino Man?
He seems okay so far. I'm sure we'll figure something out with him at Evo. Because if Brazzers was a no-go, then Team YP is a no-go.
Yeah.
I would imagine so, yeah.
But things could have changed between now and 2 years ago. I doubt it, but we'll see.
What if he gets a qualifying spot?
That'll be an interesting day in court, won't it?
Fuck.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that I always feel like with shit like this, it's always a no until it's a yes.
Right. And
which is basically, like you're saying, it's like, what happens if Filipino Man does get a qualifying spot? Are they going to be like, no, still? Are you really going to do that? That'll be an interesting day in court, won't it?
Yeah, that might actually be the death of CPT.
So it'll be a big fight if something like that happens, and I don't think anybody wants a big fight right now. I think what the worst thing they want is they want to squash this. They want to make it not a big thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, when I think that Bud Light jumping into the ring is going to make everything a lot more complicated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is good.
No, we wanted it. We wanted this.
It's going to basically prove that this is not for kids. This was never for kids. Esports was never about kids. It's not about getting kid viewers. It was about making money, like everybody knew it was.
And kids don't spend money. They may watch, but they don't actually have
Kids
wallets.
spend money that's their parents' money.
Exactly.
We all knew this because we were all kids once.
Yep.
I want to say this. I want to run an event. I'm looking at you, Hyundai. I drive you, Lowe's. Give me that NASCAR sponsorship. Give me that NFL sponsorship. I'll blow you guys up big.
Do you guys want to cover Red Bull Kumite or Texas Showdown right now?
Holy shit.
Because it's 8. We can definitely
let's
save it for
see.
next week.
Infiltration wins.
Nah,
all.
we can save it for next week. We'll talk about it a little bit.
There's this video
So,
that
I like that.
Tony wanted me to
Fuck
play.
We'll end this show with some great news. Lord and creator of Team Spooky, got a position over at XSplit in what is the
Amazing
Philippines.
news for him.
Yeah, we're all excited for him. We're all happy for him, and turns out he's going to be spending a lot of time in Asia while coming back, like basically going back and forth from Asia to the States. He says he's going to continue streaming. I don't know the extent of what he's going to do for the scene in terms of, like, say, Next Level Battle Coliseum or Battle Circuit and all that stuff, but he's definitely going to be doing a lot of stuff on his channel for XSplit. So keep a lookout for that. Follow Spooky if you don't already. I don't know why you wouldn't. And yeah, just go congratulate him. Be happy for him. It's good to see people who've been putting in so much time and effort into
All
the
the
scene,
work.
like getting stuff like this. So he and Offcast are now XSplit Illuminati, right? That's what it is.
That's right.
And that's so awesome for a lot of us who have known these guys for years, because we were all jackasses, all of them. You know, we all just played games and we all talked shit, and then a few years, they decided they wanted to stream, both of them. Spooky way earlier than Offcast, but these guys were just talking mad shit. They were good at games, and they just eventually one day wanted to. They're like, I want to be the guy who actually broadcasts this shit. And for the long time, neither of them were making any money.
Nope.
And damn, it's so good to see that shit for both of them. It's awesome.
I was 100% a Team Spooky Smart, like way back in the day. I've been watching it since forever. Like, as long as I can remember. Maybe as long as I've been streaming, probably not since the beginning, but just like, that's probably the reason why I actually care so much today about fighting games and the fighting game community, is because of Vic. So here's to you, buddy.
Ginger beer, homie?
Nice.
Nah, it's Arizona again.
Oh boy.
Arizona.
All right, I gotta play this video that Tony wanted me to play earlier.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, play it and then I'll say what I have to say.
All right.
Well, before that, I just want to say shout outs to Jared from Overheats Game Time making this video for us. It's exactly what I wanted it to be.
And
I have
here we
no
go.
idea what this video is.
Neither do I.
I don't either. That'll be
Alright.
fun.
It's great.
All I can stand. I can't stand no more.
God damn it.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my god.
Is it done, Chris?
over yet?
Is it over?
It's all. I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Holy
here,
shit.
breaking news, whatever the hell, I don't care. Street Fighter V just broke 4,000 entries at EVO.
Holy
Damn.
moly.
Damn.
That gives me the willies, sir. The willies, even.
Here's the thing. I say broke, but Wizard words it. Street Fighter V has eclipsed 4,000 entries at EVO, and the number keeps rising. So
Keep rising up.
yeah, rising up. He says it is eclipsed.
I remember somebody actually saying 5K months ago.
Yeah, that was near
God.
Chris. I know that much.
And,
We were talking. We were
and
joking
it
around
could
about
be
it.
there.
I've got to
So-
beat all those people. Damn.
Look at this.
I mean-
So what? It's been registration's been open for a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Since,
Yeah, it's about 2 months. now.
March.
About 2
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. So
Oh, this
I
is
recommend to everyone, if you plan on going to EVO and hanging out with people, make plans now.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
make plans to hang out with your friends now.
Like 2 weeks ago, honestly. So
Yeah.
this is a really great and terrible place to put this, but I got a general admission Sunday ticket. 5 times the price.
Oh, damn, we about that life?
No, there's probably way more than enough seating at the fucking Mandalay Bay. This is probably my ticket's worthless.
Oh my god.
Quickly, anybody else got anything for the end of the show?
I literally.
We're wrapping it up.
Yeah. put Virtual Fighter in KOF.
Okay.
Yes.
Why not at this point?
Walkman.
Thanks again, Jared from GameStime.
Overheat Games.
Overheat.
You already
Sanchez?
fucked it up, man.
I'm bad.
Oh, hold on. All right, so if anyone's interested in watching a set between me and Chris and Street Fighter V, we're gonna make him do a pockets pick right now.
Okay.
Between, himself and the champ over here.
What?
Okay.
First to 5, who's winning, Chris? Pockets pick.
Pockets pick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with me 5-3.
Wow.
Okay.
Damn, even give me the actual numbers? All right, now I got
Hold on, this is
alright,
gonna be
alright.
streamed, right?
So there.
Yeah, we're gonna find a way to do it. And we can
Alright.
both stream. I forgot I could do that now.
It will be on one of their channels.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Might be on both.
At the same time, we'll just fuck the netcode up.
I'm gonna.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Sorry.
I went to an event in the Central Valley run by DJ Cream, one of the people that is helping with Anime Evo. I would say it's a nice small little event, not like a ton of people, but not like ridiculously low numbers. But there are some strong players. XSK Samurai comes out. Fresno shows out in droves and gets top 8. Like everybody comes up and blows us up. Demonic is there. That guy.
Okay.
Your son. Your son.
Oh, that son.
Yeah, but it's really cool just to see, like, if you were in the Central Valley around like the Manteca, Stockton, heck, I guess even Fresno, they drive out like 100 miles to get over there. There's some solid gems out in the middle of nowhere, people might call it. So shout outs to DJ Cream, Daryl.
Sounds good.
On the subject of him, we had him on the show. He announced all the Anime Evo games. Since then, he has announced 2 additional games. The latest
Hitting my
Aquapasa game.
number of 13.
Yeah.
Pockets
Pockets
picks.
picks.
Never doubt.
Pockets picks is right. Okay. It's Arcana Hearts Love Max 3. I believe that's the name of the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Aquapasa, something. I don't know what it is. I'm not
Okay.
gonna sit here and
Chris,
pretend
you got anything?
I have to pee,
Oh, check out
so
the
wrap
website.
this shit up.
All right.
Hold on. Check out Anime Evo's website at animeevo.moe. That's .moe for all you that are not nerd inclined. So animeevo.moe. Check it out. There'll be more information to come.
I'm gonna wrap this up because Chris apparently needs to use the restroom.
I've been drinking
Thanks
beer this whole time.
everybody for listening to Super Desperation Radio, and from everybody here, good night and good luck.